I'm Steve Redler from University City, Missouri, suburb of St. Louis, born 10/24/39. Our milk was delivered in a horse-drawn cart. The horse's name was Nadine, and the driver used to cut off chunks of ice for the kids. Then I moved later to a modern city where they actually had vehicles, not horse-drawn carts. At any rate, I went through Jackson Park Grade School and University City High School. And I graduated in June of 1957, and we will get to the rest of it later. My mother and father were B. and Harry Redler from the St. Louis area, and my grandmother and grandfather were Isidore and Esther Deutschman, and Morris and Eva Redler. I had no brothers, no sisters. My mother had 2 sisters. My father had 6 brothers and sisters. And much of the family is dispersed, living in other cities and other areas. I attended the University of Wisconsin, where I graduated in June of '61. However, I met my wife there, Dodie Shapiro Redler. We were married in August 7th of 1960. The year later, we graduated at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and moved to Omaha, Nebraska. We have 2 children, Andrea or Andy and Dan Redler. Andy of Tampa, Florida, Dan Redler of Atlanta, Georgia. I have 5 grandsons, 3 for my son Dan, 2 for my daughter Andy. There are kids at this stage of recording. I have 2 grandsons of my son in college, one about to graduate high school. My daughter, I have 2 grandsons in college. They grew up in Omaha, loved the city, but moved away anyway. And so we become birds in this, of a feather, and travel south to Atlanta and Tampa to visit. Let's see, I was in a very short variety of jobs where I had worked in the chemical industry and went into my own business in 1964. And I've been in that business since. This is 2018, so I've been in it for quite a while, but I'm still active in the business. Let me retrace some steps. My mother's parents were both born. My grandmother, Nana Esther Deutschman, her maiden name Prolutsky, and my grandfather, Isidore Deutschman, came both from Kiev in the Ukraine. At those days it was Russia. And moved to St. Louis in 1905. My great-grandfather had been an importer and exporter of bottles, and my grandfather on my mother's side manufactured clothing, women's clothing in St. Louis, Missouri. And he had 14 factories throughout Illinois and Missouri, and he manufactured there until he passed away in 1954. 54, possibly 55. And my father's parents, my grandfather Morris Redler, and my grandmother Eve were from Austria, and my grandfather had attended Berlin University, and that he took. He was in design art of women's clothing. However, when he moved to the United States, he went into the dry cleaning business in St. Louis, Missouri. They had 7 children, and my other grandparents, my mother's parents, had 3 girls. How I got to Omaha, Nebraska. I went to the University of Wisconsin in Madison in the fall of 1957. I was there a short period of time when I met a girl from Omaha, Nebraska, Dolores Shapiro, and as it happened, I got ill over the Christmas holidays, and when I returned just before finals, Dodie tutored me in a variety of subjects, which is foretelling of what she did later in her life as a teacher. She got me through school with 5 C's the first semester, having lost a month of school, and we began dating, and the spring of 1958, I did what they called, I gave my Dodie a drop, a lavalier, and followed the next year by a pinning, and followed the next year in 1960, we were married. We finished the University of Wisconsin as a married couple and moved to Omaha, Nebraska in June of 1961, where Dodie taught school and I worked for the Central Mattress Company, known in Omaha today as the Mat, which is a very successful restaurant. I always said that the building, which was all brick inside and out, could be a restaurant, and today it is. If my late father-in-law, Jules Shapiro, could only see what that building turned into. And Harry Altsler, my wife Dodie's uncle. As I say, her father was Jules and Ella Shapiro, and Jules was from Lincoln, Nebraska. Ella from Omaha. She was a Cookland, and They had two girls, Dolores Doty Shapiro and Natalie Shapiro. Natalie lives in Highland Park, Illinois. She was married to Jerry LeBeau, and they had two children, Jeff LeBeau and Ellen LeBeau. Sadly, Ellen LeBeau died at the age of 28 from cancer. And Jeff has four children, one girl, I believe, and three boys. To be honest, I'm not positive. But all doing well, all graduated from various schools, and Jeff did graduate from Michigan, and I mention that because his father, Jerry LeBeau, graduated from Purdue. My sister-in-law, Northwestern. I graduated from Wisconsin. My nephew Jeff graduated from Michigan, and Dodie and I, Wisconsin, and it made Thanksgiving a very interesting holiday. Oh, my daughter graduated from Indiana. Dan was only the outsider, the only one, and he graduated from KU. Those two children are married. They have, Andy has two boys who are attending the university as we speak. Let's see, one of them is at Charleston College in Charleston, South Carolina, and the other one is at the University of, is in Boulder, Colorado. And Dan's has three boys, two of which are in college right now, and one will enter in the fall of next year, 2019. And so I'll have all five boys. You know, you would think that with the pattern right there could have been one girl in the bunch, but there wasn't. But I was fortunate I had a daughter, so at least I had an opportunity to have a Russian combination, one of each. And at any rate, those children are doing well. I had said before that I was from St. Louis, and that we had moved to Omaha. Living in St. Louis, other than the horse-drawn wagon, wasn't much different living there. No matter how big the city is, you only live in a part of the city. So I lived in a suburb of St. Louis called University City. It was called University City because every street in University City was named after a college or university. So I lived in University City, and when Dodie and I were graduated from Wisconsin, we both moved to Omaha, Nebraska. And no matter what size city you live in, you only live in a certain portion of it most of the time, barring perhaps very small towns. Living in a suburb of St. Louis you did visit various parts of the city, which it was a historical area to come from, and a lovely city. I had never had any idea or desire to move from that area. It was only after we were married. Dodie's mother unfortunately passed away 3 months after we were married. And so when we graduated, she asked if I would mind moving to Omaha, and I said no, and that would be fine. As much as I loved St. Louis, Omaha, Nebraska is one of the finest places in my mind to live. The people are good here, the people are nice. It's still a broad spectrum city. I mean, I don't know how many people you know, but I don't know millions or hundreds of thousands, so it doesn't really make a difference. You reach a point where how big the city is relative. And at any rate, this is where we lived, and this is where we raised our family. Let me think. I belonged to some different organizations. I was a ZBT at the University of Wisconsin. Dodie was an AE-Phi. We belonged to Bethel Synagogue, and when my daughter was 5 years old, Dodie wanted to switch to Temple and raise the family there, because Dodie had been a member of Bethel. So we switched to Temple Israel, and our children were bar and bat mitzvah there and married there. Nice place to live. But at any rate, I later on joined some Jewish organizations in Omaha. One of the things that I am proudest of is that I was on the board of directors of the Bureau of the Aging, and I was 19 years on that board. I'm proud to say I served as 2 years as treasurer, 2 years as vice president, and 2 years and a half of president of that the bureau, known today as as senior services. And as we speak, I'm sitting in the nursing home having just done therapy for a replacement of a right knee. And I can tell you that this is a place to be proud of, that the people who work here are menschkeit and know how to handle and work with people. And they are respectful, they are kind, and while no one wants to be in a nursing home for any particular reason, I have to tell you that they did a beautiful job. I've done 2 knees, 2 times I have been in the home for that purpose, 9 years apart. Now, speaking of that, in 9 years ago, or in 2009, my first wife, Dodie, passed away from pancreatic cancer. It was very sad. She was very brave about it, but Nonetheless, it was a hard and sad time. Um, I will tell you that I was walking through the house one day, and I don't know, remember what was on my mind, but I was headed someplace, and I'm passing through the house, and Dodie says to me, "Steve, if, if anything ever happens to me, I want you to get remarried." And you know, when you have something like that happen, you kind of pass it off because you don't think about it ever happening. But unfortunately, she became ill and and passed away. I let's see, that would have been in 2009, and through the help of good friends and family, I managed to regain my stature and continue. Sometime later, I met Linda Syruff, native of Omaha, and introduced to her by Susie Cooper. And Linda and I began seeing each other, and some 2.5 years later, we were married. I must say that Linda's a wonderful person, and I am so happy to have her. We now have two different families, her family and my family, and we enjoy various mitzvahs together, and it's something that I'm happy and proud to say that I've been able to enjoy. I did not mention what I do for a living. I worked for a time for, let me think, well, for Central Mattress Company. I had a brief job before that, but went to work for Central Mattress Company. Harry Altsler and Jewel Shapiro, Dodie's uncle and dad, and worked for them for 2 years, and decided to make a change. Answered an ad in the newspaper, and found myself as a salesman for a chemical corporation called National Chem Search. I was with these people for 5 years, and it helped me to learn how to sell and how to deal with people. I was asked by a friend if I might want to go into business. We were in business together 5 years. We separated, and I opened up my own business called Midcon Systems in Omaha, Nebraska. And that would have been in 1980. In 1990, we bought a building, and this film is made in 2018. I'm still in business, though I am not as active as I used to be, but we are in the chemical business. We bought, sold, and compounded some chemical products, and this is what I have done as my life's work. And much as I've enjoyed it, I feel kind of badly that neither child wanted to either go in the business or remain in Omaha. So my daughter Andrea, or Andy Redler, became Andy Jacobs in Tampa, Florida, and my son married Dara Grossinger from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And if there's anybody here old enough or to remember Grossingers, that was the family. Her Aunt Jenny was Jenny Grossinger, who started and ran Grossingers in New York. If I may, I would like to sum up much of what I've talked about. I'm happy to say that my family, families that have come from our family are happy and prospering and living in other parts of the country, and I'm proud of them and I'm happy to have them. But I will say that much of what has made me happy over the years is the family that I have had here in Omaha. And I must tell you that, how to put this, I was fortunate, very fortunate. I had a lovely marriage with my wife Dodie, and I am having a lovely marriage with my wife Linda. And to these women I owe a great deal of happiness and peace of mind and love. And I could only wish this for my own children.